Welcome to my lesson today about conditionals. It's teacher Maryam Buqaidi. Enjoy your lesson. I know conditionals have different types. Type 0, Type 1, Type 2, and Type 3. We are concerned today Type 2, Type 3 for second year baccalaureate. So let's start with conditional type 2. Look at this picture. She is imagining, if I had a driver's license, I would drive a car. If plus had, it means the past. Would drive, would plus the verb in the infinitive. If I had a cat, I would feed it. If plus past, would plus verb in the infinitive form. Other sentences. If I won $1 million, I would buy a new car. If I studied hard, I would pass the exam. If I were the president, I would lower taxes. So these sentences are composed of if clause, condition, plus main clause, result. So condition is if I won $1 million, the result is I would buy a new car. Now, conditional type 2 is composed of if plus condition plus result. The difference between the first ones and this one is that it is composed of if plus the verb in the past plus would and the verb in the infinitive form. We use conditional type 2 for unreal possibility, for hypothetical possibility. It can't be fulfilled because we're talking about something now, so we use an unreal past. For example, if she knew the answer, she would win the prize. Now, she doesn't have the prize because she didn't answer. So, if she knew the answer before, she would win the prize, but she doesn't know the answer. If he had enough experience for the job, the boss could hire him, but he doesn't. If I had your phone number, I would call you. Now, can I call you now? No, because I don't have your phone number. So it is about unreal possibility. It's impossible that I have your phone now. That is why I cannot call you. Practice time. Can you make the conditional type 2 by putting the verbs in the correct tense? If we have a yacht, we sail the 7 seas. So, we said that conditional type 2 is composed of if plus past plus would verb in the infinitive. So, if we had a yacht, we would sail the 7 seas. If he had more time, he would learn karate. If they told their father, he would be very hungry. I'm hungry. Okay, now we don't start with if, we put it in the middle, so you can notice the lack of the comma here. So we're going to start with would plus infinitive here. She would spend a year in the USA if it were easier to get a green card. We could say if it was, but since it's unreal past, we use it in the unreal form. If it were easier to get a green card. We would help you if we knew how. Now done with conditional type 2 and moving to conditional type 3. Hi. Oh, look at this sad student. He got an F, means he failed the test. So what does he say? If I had worked hard, I would have succeeded. As you can notice, this sentence is composed of if plus had worked. This is the past perfect. Plus would have succeeded. Would have plus past participle of the verb succeed. It means he is regretting something in the past. He can't go back to the past and fix it. And he is regretting. He says, if I had done something, something would have happened. If he had been careful, he wouldn't have had an accident. He had had an accident because he hadn't been careful. So if plus had been plus wouldn't have had. If I got a gold medal, I would have been happy. If the weather had been good, we would have gone water skiing. If you hadn't lied, you wouldn't have ended in prison. So, conditional type 3 is composed of if. So, conditional type 3 is composed of if clause, the condition, plus main clause, the result. And the if clause is composed of if plus past perfect. The result clause is composed of would have plus past participle. We use conditional type 3 for imagining a different past. It is already the past, what's done is done, but we're imagining it in another scenario. So we put the imaginary sentence. Imaginary situation that did not happen. Examples of conditional type 3. If he had talked to me, I would have listened to him. But he didn't talk to me, so I didn't listen to him. So, when you're talking about the past, you're imagining a scenario. So you say, if he had talked to me, I would have listened to him if things were different. If it had rained last weekend, we would have stayed at home. But it didn't rain last weekend, so we didn't stay at home last weekend. If she had saved enough money, we would have bought a new bicycle. But she didn't save enough money, so we can't buy a new bicycle and we couldn't buy a new bicycle. I hope you have understood conditionals so far. Of course, you need more practice. Now let's have some practice of condition type 3. Practice time! Now, can you make the conditional type 3 by putting the verbs in the correct tense? If you study for the test, you pass it. But it's conditional type 3, so we use study in the past perfect. So if you had studied for the test, you would have passed it. If you had asked me, I would have helped you. If we go to the cinema, if we had gone to the cinema, we would have seen my friend Jacob. If you had spoken English, she would have understood. If they had listened to me, we would have been home earlier. Now let's have a quick review of all these types we have discussed. Conditional type 2. If I won the lottery, I would travel a lot. If they sold their house, they would be rich. Now I can't sell the house, so I am not rich. It is composed of if plus past simple plus would plus verb. It is a hypothetical or unlikely situation. It is unreal or improbable situation now or in the future. Conditional type 3. Example, if you had studied, you would have passed the exam. If I hadn't been sick, I would have gone to your party. It is composed of if plus past perfect plus would have plus past participle of a verb. The person is imagining a different past, is imagining a situation that did not happen in the past. All these are the 4 types of conditionals that you should know for your baccalaureate exam. Now let's do this exercise on conditional sentences. You have 3 types of conditionals here. You're going to detect which is type 1, which is type 2, or type 3. If he had dropped the vase, it would have broken. So here we have if plus had dropped. It is the past perfect. So, of course, it is type 3. If you have to do the washing up, I will help you. Which conditional it is? I will help you. So it's present plus future, conditional type 1. If I had a hammer, I would hammer in the morning. That's a song. So which conditional is it? If I had, that's if plus past, plus would, verb in the infinitive. That's type 2. I wouldn't run away if I saw a spider. So I wouldn't run away if I saw a spider. If plus past, plus would, and infinitive. That's type 2. Would have given you a lift if you hadn't had your bike with you. So if you hadn't had, that's if plus past perfect. That's type 3. If you had listened to me, the accident wouldn't have happened. That's type 3. If we don't get tickets for the concert, we'll stay at home. If you don't, we will. That's type 1. So these are some summaries I took from the internet, and I think they are very helpful in understanding conditional types. But first, second, third, and zero conditionals, zero, first, second, and third. You can print them or you can copy them in your copybooks so you can remember them. Thank you very much for your attention. Lesson. I hope you have learned from my lesson and I hope to see you soon, inshallah.